It's hard to criticise Meghan and Harry's caring, sharing campaign to help parents who have lost their children to the scourge of online harm. Sure, there was something uncomfortably showbiz about their Montecito Majesty's schmaltzy performance on CBS's Sunday morning show, especially when host Jane Pauley gestured to the bereaved mums and dads and stressed that all further such meetings with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would be online and not, she stressed, in person. Full of theatrical hugs and filmic sympathy, this strategic gathering in a cosy California cabin, plush with tasteful lighting and expensive furniture, was just for TV, just for the launch of the Parents Network. Of course, we got Meghan's suicidal thought story when she says she contemplated taking her own life amid the horror of becoming a member of the British royal family, when palaces, privilege, position and fabulous wealth were not enough to bring her happiness. And it was difficult not to laugh as Harry droned on about first responders and not knowing what youngsters were up to under your own roof, helpfully making the shape of a roof with his hands. Since he hates being classified as thick, perhaps he should stop acting like it's true. But hey, the scourge of online harm is a worthy cause, and to an extent, I salute the Sussexes for fighting the good fight. But here's the thing. How come they care so much about parents they don't know, but don't seem to care much about the parents they do know? As in their parents. Where is the caring in Meghan's continuing cold cruelty to her once doting dad, Thomas Markle? 6 years on, heartbroken Thomas has not even met his regal son-in-law and has never seen his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. Meanwhile, Harry refuses to bring his family to Britain because he insists that without the armed police protection to which he is no longer entitled, it's just too dangerous, which in effect means King Charles also doesn't get to see his grandkids, a sad situation that has left him devastated. How is Harry able to be so caring about parents enduring online harm, but so uncaring about his dear old dad enduring estrangement from Archie and Lilibet? So this is the problem with the Duke and Duchess of California. Double standards. Meghan, quite rightly concerned about the bullying of children on social media, stands accused of being a bully when she was reported to have made life hell for cowering palace staff during the time when she was a full-time British royal. The results of an external investigation ordered by the Queen have never been published. Make of that what you will. Shameless Harry blaming everyone else for the widening rift between him and his regal relatives, the evil press, his legal war with the newspapers, William and Kate disrespecting Meghan. You name it, it's never his fault. The truth, he implied Charles, William and the gang are all racists, and then told terrible tales on them in his spiteful little book Spare, as their unconventional pursuit of privacy through the medium of publicity trundles relentlessly on. For chronic virtue signallers Harry and Meghan, charity must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Even so, Harry and Meghan's charitable instincts are to be applauded. But isn't it about time the gruesome twosome realised that charity begins at home? Yeah, Sara, I mean, it is very odd. It's a weird dichotomy, isn't it, between their attitude to all the parents they don't know that they seem to care so much about, their own parents they couldn't give a toss about.
Absolutely. And may I reiterate that poor Thomas Markle spent his 80th birthday alone, not surrounded by his grandchildren, not surrounded by his family.
Really sad.
And, you know, we had her on your other show, Kevin, Lady C. She raised £50,000 for him just to have a nice birthday. What did Meghan do on that same weekend? She went on a hike with about £107,000 worth of jewellery on her wrist. So, no, she doesn't give a toss about her family. That much is true. And also, it was interesting in this little CBS documentary where they made this this caveat where they said, look, this meeting with these parents, these bereaved parents, it was very sad. This is happening in person, but majority of the meetings will happen online.
Majority?
Yeah.
Never again will they meet anyone in person.
First of all, let's be clear.
Jane Pauley was like falling over. No, this is just one time. No human beings will ever meet them again.
Yeah, literally. I mean, it happened with her 40th birthday. It's going to happen again. She's never really going to see these people. I thought the whole point of that whole community was to be with people in person, get offline, talk about, healing themselves. But apparently a Zoom call is all they're going to get from Meghan's contribution to this whole thing. Yeah. So it's just another symbolic gesture from a bully who's repeatedly, push people out of their jobs, made people cry. People have walked off set. Directors have literally walked off set because she was that horrible. The Reitman's photo shoot, look it up if you want to know.
Sara Gill, ladies and gentlemen. You see, she does research, unlike you. Go on, get out of that. What's your response?
My response to that is, what would you rather they do?
I'd rather they shut the up and pissed off forever, frankly.
But ultimately, they're coming out and saying, two people who themselves have well-publicised falling out with their own families, saying how important family is, how important online trauma and online bullying is, and we have to admit that they have both been the subject of various online campaigns, and they're trying to protect their kids from that as well. And then we're just kind of sort of yelling at them and saying, well,
I think it's a very valid thing to do, Simon, to say, they talk about the importance of family. Why are they so shitty to their own families?
But if you've got people in your family who are toxic and who are bringing you down...
The king is toxic.
If you have people...
William's toxic.
I'm not saying that the king is toxic. I'm saying if you have people in your family...
Who's toxic in the royal family, then?
I am saying that Thomas Markle,
your devil incarnate.
In as far as Meghan has decided, do you know what Meghan did for her mother's birthday? Do you know what she did?
What?
No, neither of you do.
What?
Because she doesn't have to shout about it.
Meghan?
She doesn't have to shout about...
She shouts about everything.
Anyway,
listen.
The proof of the pudding.
Wait a second. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring sick buckets for you all, but here are Harry and Meghan talking to Jane Pauley.
In the olden days, if your kids were under your roof, you knew what they were up to. At least they were safe.
They're amazing. But all you want to do as parents is protect them. And so as we can see what's happening in the online space, we know that there's a lot of work to be done there.
I mean, Look, as I say, I want to, we shouldn't be facetious about the spirit of what they're doing. Online harm, particularly poor parents whose kids top themselves because of what they see online. That's terrible. Sometimes, as Harry is pointing out, in the next room. I'm not trying to undermine the importance of their campaign.
But you are saying...
But I'm just saying, what about charity does begin
but
at
you
home.
Are saying,
what about your own families?
But you are
and
saying...
By the way, it is a bit showbizy and it is a bit all about them.
You are saying you don't feel that they have a right to kind of have a view on this subject because they both have familial problems of their own.
I didn't say that.
You're both saying that it's
right point, wrong messenger. Right point, wrong messenger. I want to read out an email leaked from The Times from Kensington Palace Communications Secretary. I'm very concerned that the Duchess was able to bully 2 PAs out of the household in the past year. The treatment of, name removed, was totally unacceptable. Okay, so that's just one leaked email of many that proves that she is a bully. She's not the right messenger for this campaign. It's that simple. And she basically used half of that CBS interview to talk about her suicide attempt, which shouldn't the focus have been on the poor kids that killed themselves?
By the way, she in that interview, she stressed that, when somebody talks about suicidal thoughts, they have to be, it's absolutely the law, they have to be believed. I don't believe that. You can disbelieve someone if you want. Piers Morgan had the temerity to say, I don't believe her, and he lost his job over it. Why did he lose his job? Because she, Meghan, wrote to the chief executive of ITV to complain and said, I must be believed. Well, I am not doubting her story of suicidal thoughts, but if
nice save, Kate.
But if I want to, I'm not doubting it, but if I want to, I should should be able to. She's the enemy of free speech, isn't she?
No, she's not the enemy of free speech. And I go back to
Well,
again...
why did she want Piers sacked for his perfectly valid opinion?
Also, which have now been proven to be mostly correct.
Well, no, I mean, you know, as I say...
That's just not true at all. That's not true at all. Where has she said that she's not had suicidal thoughts?
Wait, what? No, I was talking about the points about, you know, her saying that there was racism within the family, the colour of the
that
baby's
was a
skin,
lie.
all these things. That's also what Piers was getting riled up about.
But he was saying that he didn't believe her. It's his word against hers. Let's go back to
But
the
he's
original...
got the right to say that.
Stuff about
go back-
Simon, he's got the right to
Can
say
I
that.
answer
He's
one
got the-
question?
No,
Am I allowed to answer one
Because you're
question?
just flipping over.
I'm not
the
flipping
important issue.
over.
He has got the right to have that opinion. Meghan doesn't think he does.
Let's go back to the original question. The question that you were asking about, you're saying right message, wrong messenger. That's an opinion, okay? Both of them have been subject to online campaigns through social media about the way that they are perceived to be. You've got evidence there from the palace and elite email, but there's no right of reply or anything else. It's one
Oh, wait a minute,
Wait
mate.
there.
You're
One-sided.
You're misrepresenting
It's
that.
one-sided.
Sorry, mate. No, wait a second. You are misrepresenting that story. That was accompanied by many other tales
Yes.
of her inappropriate behaviour around staff at Buckingham Palace.
And where is her right to reply in that? Where is her right to reply?
And the most extraordinary turnover of staff.
And where is her right to
You know,
reply on that? Where is her right to
where
reply?
was William's right to reply when they basically published
Good
an entire
point.
book about all the things that he had ever done? They aired out every single piece of dirty laundry about the royal family, very private and intimate moments.
Simon,
where was their right to reply?
Whoa.
Wait there. I'm not being able to answer one question.
It's my show.
I know. Can I answer one question?
No, you can't.
Every time I start to answer a question, you just ask me another
It's 'cause
question.
you talk that shit.
Where do you get your trousers from? I get them from... No, where do you get your dog from?
I don't want to know where you get your trousers from. They're awful.
I'm not wearing any.
They did. That's awful. They did have the right to reply. They chose not to. Of course, they get the right to reply. Meghan never stood up and said, "I'm not a bully. None of this happened." I suspect because it did happen. It's well documented. The Queen ordered this investigation. That's how serious it was.
Yes.
External. The investigation was conducted, completed, and then the Queen, in a rare mistake in my view, chose not to publish it.
And
I think.
And what do you say? And what do you say? And I think the reason she chose not to publish it is because it was very damning to Meghan. But you don't know. That is conjecture. That is conjecture. You'll give me that, Kevin.
Well, yeah, but
Well, then it's conjecture.
Well,
Let's go back.
We've got the link
Let's
team
go
up.
back. Can I go back? Can I answer one sodding question on this show? People who...
hang on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Simon London.
Thank you. People who...
Anyway, we've got to move on.
people who have problematic or dysfunctional relationships with their family should not be prevented from trying to stop the next generation having the same experience as them.
Did I say that?
No, you didn't, but that's what I was trying to get across, that they're allowed to say and they're allowed to draw on their own experience to do this. Now, I agree. Listen, in a rare moment, I'm going to say I don't think that Meghan is the best behaved person, and I think that she has been problematic in the royal family, and that high turnover of staff is true. But I also think that her relationship with her dad and Harry's relationship with his family, and the fact that he has been groomed to be the spare, and therefore he's not the most important person, has had a detrimental effect on him, the same way that his mother has died as well. So you have to have a sense.
Sorry,
of.
it's getting late a bit, but
Yeah,
we get the point.
Yeah, we get the point.
And by the way, Eric Trump, Donald's son, has said that if Donald gets in, Harry had better look for a different country to live in because he's going to revoke his visa.
Right.
So
Harry's safe.
So
Harry's safe.
not if Trump gets in.
Trump won't get in.
He can right off as far as Donald's concerned. Anyway, time for a bad ad.
Get that salon-style look, fast and easy. Bumpets are the incredible self-stripping hair accessory that give you perfect style and volume every time. Go from flat to fabulous instantly. Imagine being able to create today's hottest hairstyles in seconds. Just look at the difference. Amazing! Go sexy, elegant, casual, sassy, flirty, and fabulous. With Bumpets, you'll feel confident and beautiful every day. Perfect for those special occasions.
They were terrible, those hairstyles. I've always been confused by hair adverts. You know, like they go, oh, look, we use this shampoo, and then on the telly, and then this is British adverts as well. And then you get these girls with really shitty hairstyles, you know, all curls everywhere, all over the place. So this is just proving that this is a strange genre. Did you like any of those styles? Well, you've got one of them.
You're both flirty and sassy.
You've based yourself.
And confident today.
You've based yourself on one of those.
Yeah, I think I tried one of those when I was younger, and it ends up looking completely shit because it just.
Yeah. Well, you should have that sort of big bun thing on the.
Yeah, just
the
looks
bun
like a
thing
bum.
with a bit. Yeah, I think that's good.
Were they bun pits or bum pits?
Bum pits. No, bun, as in, you know,
pits.
as in a
Okay.
bread bun.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here today, gone tomorrow. It's time for a real ad or two. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back. It is time now for the serious part of the show where we prove that behind all the jokes and the laughs, we're very, very, very important journalists. What we're going to talk about, well, basically it's this. Earlier I failed to pass you sick buckets when we watched Harry and Meghan virtue signalling, polishing their halos as usual. I'm sorry, I don't have sick buckets for you again for this.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
Why have they always got to do this? I mean, it's so crap. Anyway, that's Tim the Last Waltz, who looks like Frasier's ugly brother. And he is now going to be her running mate. I wish I was him, you know. Hi, it's Kamala Harris here. I want you to be my running mate. Off, I'm busy. But she has actually made yet another mistake, but this is the mistake of her political career. She should have chosen Josh Shapiro, who's the governor of Pennsylvania. For the last 12 presidential elections, the candidate that won Pennsylvania won the election. It is seen as the keynote state. You have to win Pennsylvania. If she'd have picked Shapiro, she'd have had a good chance. You know why she didn't? Because there are anti-Semites in the Democrats and Josh Shapiro is Jewish. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And he's also he had the power to maybe overpower her. That's what a lot of pundits are saying. He was very strong. He was very good at, speaking to people. People said he had a deeper voice. He spoke a bit like Obama when it came to speeches. And, she doesn't want anyone to overpower her. This is a woman who has a Kardashian-style video crew following her around, apparently, noting every call that she makes. She's trying to mobilize the young people. And she thinks that this guy, Tim Waltz, is like a dad who's going to come in and be all friendly. This guy is not. This is someone who, avoided the Iraq war by hopping out 2 months before deployment. This is someone who completely...
Is that right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Gets worse.
Yeah, he's the Midwest that everyone wants to see, isn't he?
He's in the National Guard, wasn't he?
Well, someone who, sure.
So the
jumped out just before they needed him.
The equivalent of our territorial army, where he rose to the dizzyingly high...
Oh, wow. Well,
I haven't finished yet. He rose to the dizzyingly high rank of Sergeant Major. He's some sort of high school football coach or something. I mean, he exudes mediocrity. He's also a lefty. And he doesn't really he represents Minnesota, which isn't all that key. And a lot of political analysts say she's really up here. She's got it's nothing really against him, although he seems like a very annoying person. It's just that strategically, he's the wrong person, Simon.
She's going to win, so it doesn't really matter. And also, as you two bang on about the fact about, he's only in the National Guard. Trump had bone spurs and didn't even serve. Oh, he's been a coach in a football. Yeah, teaching kids. Oh, what a bad person he is.
J.D. Vance went and served.
Kamala has a film crew following her around. You're the TikTok star. You're always posting and about stuff as well. She understands, like you do, the power of the media.
Nobody likes a bald man, Simon.
I know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So he's bald and he's
And
fat.
his excuse was that he worked in a school, and that's why he became bald.
He just exudes.
He's a great guy, and I watched her introduce him to her massive crowd, and I watched Trump do his presser yesterday, his live presser yesterday. Trump. She's almost 8 points ahead now. She's going to trounce him. And if Trump carries on doing what he's doing, it doesn't matter. She could have picked Jack the Ripper to be vice president. She's still going to win.
50 quid says you're f***ing wrong.
100 quid says I'm right.
No. Trust me, he's going to win.
He's going to lose, and he's going to lose bigly.
At least, you talk about Trump's presser, at least he is taking, questions from the press. Kamala hasn't taken one single question from the press. 19 days, Kamala, where are the answers?
She doesn't have to. Why should she?
Just let him. By the way, I suppose I shouldn't really blame her for this, but I'm going to. Why does she have to have that annoying high school movie voice?
We won big. We did great things. We had 2 beautiful world wars. I'm just talking crap. I'm just doing this with my hands.
Is this you?
I'm all tanned. I'm an idiot.
Oh, sorry, this is...
I'm weird.
I thought it was you.
Come on, we can all do impressions.
Well, no, you obviously can't.
Hey, listen, if we're going to be under this roof, I want us all to be friends.
What every candidate has to do is to put a roof over people's heads. But seriously, you don't understand America. Samara does. And tactically, strategically, and in terms of the dynamics of a presidential election, you really don't get it. Trump is ahead. He's going to win.
Yeah, and also this is the most liberal ticket that I've seen
it's
in
too
a
liberal.
long time. No,
the fact you love them means America won't love them.
People think Tim Walz is like a Midwestern dad. He's signed bills that said you can abort babies after they're born. He's also said basically that he wants to protect...
You can abort babies after they're born.
No,
Trump led an insurrection. Trump tried to overthrow democracy.
He said that he wants to protect people's freedoms. They're going very hard on abortion on the Harris ticket. He's the one who set up a hotline during the COVID pandemic so that you could rat your neighbor out if they were violating his very strict laws that he was putting in place.
Remember that? Everybody in America.
And Trump tried to ban Muslims.
Style.
And Trump tried to ban Muslims from entering the country. And Walz
tried to.
And Walz tried to give free meals to school children. And Trump led an insurrection.
You know what Tim Walz is doing? They're calling him Tampon Tim over in the States.
And Vance, they're calling him Vance is the couch.
Whoa, one of his legislations, which is actual fact, is that Tim said that you could put tampons in the men's bathrooms. So this is who we're talking about. He's a liberal guy. It's a liberal ticket.
By the way, he said this. He said, one man's socialism is another man's neighborliness.
And then he sets up a hotline.
That isn't going to go to... He's a lefty. He's a lefty.
Listen.
And then he sets up a hotline where you can rat your neighbor out.
She's now ahead in the swing states. People are turning out for her. Trump yesterday tried to say he had bigger crowds than Martin Luther King. That's back in the 1960s. He's scraping the bottom of the barrel. Your spiritual, orange, mad, weird king. It's over. It's over. Just admit it. It's over.
So what will you say if you're wrong?
I'll apologise, but I won't have to. I won't have to.
You won't apologise.
Kamala Harris is going to be a part of history.
Right.
This is one thing. Wait there. Kev, let me
idea.
just say this. You say I don't get Americans. I don't think you get...
You don't get America.
I don't get America. I don't think that you understand... You don't understand how young people want to be agents of change. Having a female president, a president of colour...
Young people don't get off the couch
shit like
and
that.
moving away from...
Young people want to be agents of change.
Moving away from the divisive politics and this madness.
Shut up.
They want to be part of that.
Shut up, you hippie.
And they are going to vote, and he is going to lose, and he won't take it well.
Shut up, you hippie.
No, it's
Shut
over.
up, hippie.
It is over.
Hippie.
You're making a great argument. You're making a great argument.
Shut up.
I love your debate. I love your debate system.
Off my show.
Kamala is going to need... Whoa, okay.
Look at that physical.
Look at that liberal man.
Look at that. Look, he's resorting to violence. Typical socialist.
Realistically, statistically, Kamala is going to need Obama levels of youth mobilization, and it's not going to happen.
Anyway, young people want to be agents of change. Young people can kiss my ass. Time for a bad
Do
ad.
not do that,
Shut
young
up!
people. Do not kiss his ass.
This is me in Bali.
This is me in Rio.
You can get away with anything in Rio.
That's Australian. Is that what the trains are like there?
That's what the flashes are like,
That's like something out of... Is that a bus?
That's a tram, I'll have you
Tram?
know. Yeah, a tram. That's what we use.
Was that like 1950?
I mean, that is what our flashes are like.
Samara did that to me in the makeup room, but as she's a never nude, underneath was a whole wetsuit.
Yeah, I am a never nude. That's a discussion for another time. But yeah.
Has that ever happened to you, Simon?
No, never. I mean, I've stood up and opened up and shown people my bra and knickers before, but never the other way around.
I can imagine. I quite often sit next to strange women and start saying, "This is me in Bali." By the way, everybody, here's a pop fact for you. I got married in Bali. Oh. True. Time for a set of real ads. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Here in little old broken Britain, we have a weird Prime Minister who won't listen to us. In our desperation, we find an unlikely American hero, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, who speaks for us, who questions our scandalous two-tier nation where the demonised white working class are despised by privileged politicians and picked on by the prejudiced police. Here's the sickening story. We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore, but our not-so-dear leader doesn't seem to care. Keir Starmer sees mass rioting on the streets all over the country and, classic tin pot socialist tyrant that he is, sets about arresting as many protesters as possible and banging them up in prison. Dare to disagree with our Labour dictators and you'll go to jail. Dissent will not be tolerated. Of course, the vast majority of us don't condone wanton destruction, violence and mayhem. We deplore the pervasive horror that is fast turning our seething cities into terrifying battlegrounds. But when we beg our new left-wing government to consider the reasons for this unprecedented level of widespread unrest, it simply won't. Instead, Starmer stares bot-like into the TV cameras, blames it all on his favourite pantomime villains, far-right thugs, and pretends it's all just a law and order issue. When we ask why the cops quite rightly descend on white rioters like a ton of bricks and make hundreds of arrests, but are nowhere to be seen when machete-wielding Muslims go on the rampage in Birmingham, two-tier Keir insists there's no such thing as two-tier policing. London's police chief, Sir Mark Rowley, says the same. Starmer, Rowley and all the other establishment lackeys repeating this moronic mantra are either stupid or they're lying, or both. When the Hare Hills area of Leeds erupted into an orgy of deranged disruption by a largely ethnic mob, the cops retreated and left them to it for hours on end. 5 arrests, one of them a local white woman who has never been in trouble before but is now being forced to attend a racial awareness course. Starmer addresses the nation and vows to protect Muslims and their mosques, which is good. But no mention of the rest of us. Enter Mr. Musk, tweeting, "Shouldn't you be protecting all the community?" And all along, the pusillanimous PM is too scared to admit that the underlying profound problems are unbridled immigration, the continuing mishandling of the escalating migrant crisis, and increasing fears that Britain is being consumed by Islamification. Frightened Keir brushes aside a poll revealing that a third of Brits actually support the protests. Days after white men were caught on film rioting, they're charged in court and jailed. 2 weeks after 2 Muslim men were caught on film pummeling the hell out of seriously injured coppers at Manchester Airport, they're still not even charged. Are the Greater Manchester Police worried about causing sectarian trouble? Is this an egregious example of two-tier policing? I say yes, and so does Elon Musk, who predicts that Britain's uncontrolled immigration and the continuing procession of illegal migrants crossing the channel in small boats will lead to civil war. Arguably, the conflict has already started. Naturally, Keir and his crew hit back, angrily dismissing Elon's concerns. They don't like rich people, they're Labourites. But more to the point, they can't take the truth. And until we have a Prime Minister and a government prepared to confront the reality of why this enraged, unravelling country is in a state of dangerous disarray, this catastrophic explosion of ferocious fury will only get worse. He's got to talk about it, hasn't he, Simon?
Who? Elon Musk or Keir Starmer?
Keir Starmer.
Yeah, and I think he is talking about it.
He's not! He won't.
I think he is talking about it.
If you ask him, every time he is asked, what about the causes of this unrest? He said, we put them in prison. We will not put up with this lawlessness. They'll get harsh sentences. Didn't ask you that. I wanted you to talk about the causes. We will not tolerate this, you know.
OK, your impressions get better and better every week. Let's go back to Elon Musk, though. This man should not be This man should not be interfering in our democracy. He should not be interfering at all. He has platformed he's platformed right-wing demagogues. He is a peddler of misinformation.
Can we talk about
he's dangerous.
Did I ask you that?
Keir is dealing with it.
He hasn't talked about it.
He has talked about it.
He won't.
He's gone into
When did he talk about it?
Listen.
When has he talked about the reasons?
He
has not. He absolutely has not. I do a f***ing show upstairs 5 days a week. So does Sara. I look at everything this guy says. Every time he is asked for the causes of this disruption, of this unrest, he just says lawlessness will not be tolerated. We'll put these people in prison. And I'm cool with that. You can't go around chucking bricks at coppers, by all means. But talk to us, listen to us. We have concerns.
But the concerns about this are so myriad. I mean, you can't just point at one thing and go, that is the cause of what all these protests are.
But that's actually what we're saying. Keir is saying, oh, it's just far-right extremists. We're getting misinformation online. No, it's a deep... As you even just said, Simon, it's a myriad of things. It's a deeper issue within society. And I think also that's why Elon has pointed it out, because he's also obviously concerned about the mass immigration that America is going with. And he's looking at us, which, you know, we tend to be a couple years ahead, a couple years behind in certain things. And he's saying, is this what we're heading towards? I mean, he's a very matter-of-fact person, and he's also a key funder in Trump's campaign.
And he's a peddler of misinformation. You have to admit that. The amount of misinformation, I mean, look at the stuff he was saying.
No one asked him to be a bastion of
Look at all the stuff he was saying about the vaccines. He actually retweeted that the vaccines were causing half the people in the world to miscarry. And he retweeted that. Imagine how ridiculous that is. Imagine how ridiculous that is.
I'm a massive admirer of Elon Musk.
He's a very dangerous man with no sense of humour.
He's a genius.
And he thinks he's funny, and he's not. And that eats away at him like a cancer. He's dangerous. He is a very dangerous man. And he needs to stay out of our politics.
No, well, Elon, you're welcome any time. You carry on tweeting about this shithole of a country of ours which is falling apart. I love this country, but it's going badly wrong, and you must admit that the first month of Labour has made it markedly worse.
Yeah, 14 years of a Tory government, and Labour have to sweep up 4 weeks. 4 weeks of what they've done. Yeah, well done, bravo.
Samara, assess the first month of Labour, would you? It's really been a triumph.
Yeah, we've obviously had the Manchester police scandal at the airport. We've had the riots. America is saying that it looks like we're about to go to civil war. It's interesting.
Regional skirmishes.
We look like a country with weak borders. We look weak to the world. We look weak to everyone else.
14 years.
That's what a Labour government has taught.
The Tories have been in power for 14 years.
By the way, Simon, you're going to bang on about this for the next 4 years.
Look, I'm no supporter of the Tories. I'm with you. The Tories made a massive mess of it. Absolute disaster. Even I said, well, you know, can't stand Labour, but it is time for change. But Christ almighty, they fucked it up, haven't they? Really, really badly already. People are already saying, because it was expected that they'd be in for a generation. I think the next election they're out. Do you want to know how many people in this country have been arrested for misbehaving on social media?
No, but you're going to tell me.
3,300. Do you know how many people have been arrested for misbehaving on social media in Russia? 400. This guy, this is all he's saying. He has distilled this massive unrest in this country, all these riots, down into a law and order issue. Just saying, they'll go to jail, they'll feel the full force of the law. Fine, I don't mind that, though you can't throw bricks at coppers. I didn't like to see that mosque being sieged in Southport.
Kevin, though, you're using that as an example.
By all means, but, you know, for God's sake, this isn't just a law and order issue,
Kevin,
is it?
you're using that as an example. Somebody in Russia who was an influencer who put something on social media, I remember, was dragged off a plane and then sent to Siberia. So, I mean, there's being arrested and then there's
3,300, 400.
There is being arrested.
It's worse here.
There is being arrested. And
by the way,
there is
I lived in Russia. I feel more unsafe here about what I'm retweeting than when I was there.
This is supposed to be a free country, freedom of expression. We should have the freedom to be wrong.
Free speech is not the same as hate speech.
You really going to... Are we going to throw people in jail for tweets?
Free speech is not the same as hate speech.
If you want
free speech, there has to be a responsibility that comes.
Bullshit.
Yes, there does. You can't just lie online. You can't just have people.
You should be able to.
No, you can't. That's ridiculous.
Simon, you're a classic
That's
lefty.
ridiculous.
It's like
what are you going to do? Put them in jail if you lie online?
If it leads to people having their houses burnt down, then yes, they tried to burn down a hotel with women and children in it. You can't have free speech without responsibility just because you don't agree with.
Do you know people who say that? They're people who don't really believe in free speech.
I do believe in free speech.
I believe you should have the right to lie.
I do believe in free speech.
We're arresting people. Listen to this. We are, in this country, we are arresting people. We're charging them and putting them in court for retweeting.
Yeah.
But if you tweet...
That is dumb as
what the f*** is happening to this country? We're turning into North Korea.
If you have a huge audience and you tell them untruths, and because of that, somebody dies, isn't that...
You're a fascist.
I'm not a fascist.
Well, let people tell lies online then.
Let people say whatever they like and people die and that's fine.
That's called freedom.
That's idiocy.
That's called freedom.
That is idiocy. It's not freedom.
It's more like we're trying to chop the issue off, not at the root, when it's already grown.
So do you believe that free speech, we should just say what we like and there should be no consequence?
With the instance of the migrant hotel, it wasn't because a couple of people retweeted something. It was obviously because of a mass...
Farage retweeted it. Tate retweeted it. Elon Musk amplified it. People who are being arrested said, I read this online and I went and did this to a mosque. And you think that's fair?
The facts don't lie.
You think that's fair?
What do I think is fair?
You think it's fine to spread misinformation so that people might end up dead, and that's a consequence of free speech, and we should have free speech. Never mind the consequences.
If people actually spread that information, that's different. People are getting arrested for retweeting something.
Look, I think people should be allowed to say or tweet anything they like as long as they're not calling for other people to be harmed. As long as it doesn't...
That's exactly what they were doing. That's exactly what they were doing. And also...
No. If they're not calling for
but that becomes...
If they say, come on, everybody, charge the Southport Mosque, then they should be...
But that then becomes semantics. If you
say... Who decides? Who decides what is inside...
Ultimately...
Who decides?
Ultimately, somebody has to decide. If you tweet,
Starmer.
If you tweet,
Starmer.
If you tweet, enough is enough. We've had enough of these migrants. Come on, people. You know what to do. You've got to protect your country.
Mate, you're a fascist.
Is that free speech or is that hate speech?
No. Hate speech is fine. Hate speech is absolutely fine.
Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous.
If I want to hate, as long as you do not call for violence.
That's spoken like a true person who doesn't have to walk the streets fearing for their life. Try being brown and walking around through a National Front march. It's not fun.
Yeah.
People who are misinformed about it.
Try being white walking through Birmingham 3 nights ago.
Maybe we should go on a walk together.
We should do that. And when we go on a walk together, let's walk directly to the pub.
Completely. And I'd go, it's not me, it's him.
It's time now for a bad ad.
Ber 3 สิ
ดีอะท่านปุโรหิต
พัดลมฮาตาริไปอะค่ะ
มันดียังไงไหนลอง
Well, actually, what just happened? What was that? What was that?
I hope it was advertising fans.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. Was that an American ad or a sort of Tibetan ad?
I'm going to put my...
It's Japanese, apparently.
Oh, OK. Yeah. Oh, it was good. I enjoyed it.
That was... So people watch that and they go right out and buy that product. Yeah, right.
Goodbye, colonialism.
Yeah. Well, after that, I think we've got to go to some real ads. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back. It's time now for what we call the complaints department, or in my case, the praise department, when all of you praise me and I say thank you. It's obviously a reference to our massive number of messages we get from you after every show. Once again, I always say it and I'm going to say it every week. Thank you very much. We love your engagement. Thousands of messages. We love you watching. Love the people in America watching, the people in Australia. I'm here in Denmark now, Latvia. We're going global. And of course, the wonderful British people as well. So here are a selection of some of the admiring messages you've sent about me. Ladies first, Simon.
Simple Simon. Is Meg paying you? Why can't you see what they really are? Grifters. You keep defending everything they do. You are always wrong. And that's from...
Mrs. London.
From Rita.
Rita, bang on. Absolutely right. Simple Simon, village idiot, always wrong. Samara Gill's always right.
Yeah, I really am. And Molly is also right. Simon, you argue just for the sake of it. Harry claims...
No, I don't.
Harry claims that our beloved late Queen is supporting what he is doing. Rubbish. Molly?
I love that you argue just for the sake of it. Imagine if we didn't argue. Wouldn't be much of a show,
Just
would
a
it?
bunch of people all agreeing with one another.
Well,
Get that somewhere else.
you should watch The Talk, another one of our shows. Simon, what you got?
This says, happy Saturday night from Debbie in Scottsdale, Arizona. Weeded out another bad date who actually likes Simon and what he says. Cannot believe they actually believe their own garbage. Thank you, Samara, and thank you, Kevin, for not hiding your real balls. And that's from Debbie Granite.
Well, I hope you're hiding your balls.
Yeah, well, we know where they were last week. In my face.
The ball sack fairground rider. By the way, Debbie, great message. I love your town, Scottsdale. Used to play a lot of golf there. Let's go on to you now, Samara.
Louis has said, I would have watched the end, but Simon put me off. Pity, because I love listening to you, Kevin, and Samara. Australian flag. Nice.
Who's that again?
Louis.
From Australia. Well, Louis, I promise you, next time we do a show, Simon will just edit him out. So anyway...
Just you and Samara in one big love-in, agreeing with one another, agreeing the hell out of one another.
Actually, I like the idea of that format. Yeah, maybe we'll move on to that. What do you got, Simon?
Elizabeth Lovelock says, Simon is playing devil's advocate. Unfortunately, he doesn't make much sense. Meghan and Harry have made their bed. They should lie in it quietly.
Yeah, exactly right. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. So another put down for Simple Simon. Have we got any more?
Leslie said, Simon, I believe that he purposely goes against what he thinks for entertaining us. No way, Simon, are you that gullible?
Who was that again?
That's from Leslie.
Well, Leslie, it's a nice message. The trouble with Simon is, I know you listen to him and you think he can't possibly believe this shit that he's spewing, but he does. He does. He actually believes this crap. What do you got, Simon?
I've got Catherine Taylor, who says, you need to let Simon talk.
Oh, shut up. Is that it?
Yes.
Well, Catherine Taylor, I think we need to let Simon talk a lot less than we do.
The idea of a debate show where it's just one-sided. I mean, some people are so deluded. It's ridiculous.
You must admit that this isn't one-sided. We do have a debate, a mass debate. What have you got, Samara?
Aaliyah said, for those bashing Simon, I think it's important to have someone with a different view. This is a discussion. You might not agree with him, but we must respect people's other views. So, yeah, that's why we have him here.
No. I say Now, let's go on to a bad ad.
Now there's the wearable towel. The towel with arm openings. The wearable towel keeps you totally covered and gives you the freedom to use your hands. Great for getting the paper. Ideal to wear before a swim. And perfect to wear with family and friends. The wearable towel is unisex and can be worn in a tunic style and in a toga style. This is not sold in store, so hurry while supplies last.
Well, I'm certainly going to be getting those. I should say, everybody, that get out your violins, start weeping, Kleenex. Even brilliant presenters like me have to go on vacation, and I'm going on vacation after this show. So we'll be back in not 1 week, not 2 weeks, so 3 weeks' time. So please tune into that and remember this brilliant show. I'm off to buy myself, what are those things called? The wearable towel. I have to get myself a wearable towel so the people of Greece can be very, very shocked. Thank you very much, I think, to Simon London.
Thank you.
Fuck off. And thank you, as always, to Samara Gill. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll be back same time, same place in 3 weeks' time for another fantastic edition of What Just Happened? What just happened?